Hey everyone, let me know in the comment. Do you own a car or do you have a license and you know how to drive a car? Think about the last time you actually ignored the low fuel warning in your car. The light comes on, but your car is still moving. So you tell yourself, okay, you know what? I have still time. I will deal with it later. I will fuel my car later. So the warning light is not actually trying to scare you. It is not trying to manipulate you that you're going to actually stay on the road right now. It is giving you important information so that you can act before that small problems becomes a much bigger one where you have to deal with like emergency, like ask for someone to get you the fuel so that you can move your car again, right? That is what ethical urgency should do in your marketing right now. You are not frightening your audience into buying, right? You're actually helping them to recognize the warning signs they are right now ignoring, and you are empowering them into making a decision before more consequences become more expensive for them. So, in this video, I want to talk to you about why creating urgency is not unethical when it's done with honesty, care, and authenticity. And it is one of the most responsible ways you can do, and you can lead your audience as a woman of color coach and industry expert. So let me know in the comment, do you ever actually experience these kind of experiences in your life with your car? I did that, definitely. I was always telling I will deal with it later, I will deal with it later. I mean, nothing bad happened, but that is what I want to talk to you when it comes to your coaching business right now. So many women of color coaches, right? They like what I think holds them back from selling, and when it comes to, using urgency in their content marketing, is not only one that they don't know how to do it in an ethical way, but also there are thoughts that are holding them back from actually doing so, which is like believing that if you talk about the consequences constantly of staying stuck, that you are using fear, right? You believe that creating urgency means that you are manipulating people and people should come to the conclusion on their own, right? And you have this belief, or something inside of you, something inside of your body and your mind and your soul tells you that if you challenge your audience, that they actually think you are pushing them, that you are manipulating them. So, what is happening is that you make your content softer, right? You are not really using your voice. You're not calling the BS behaviors and patterns out that your audience are doing, even though you are doing it behind closed doors. So, when someone pays you, someone is becoming a client inside your offer, you are completely different than how you are presenting yourself in your brand, in your content right now, right? So you are making your content way more softer than it should be, right? You avoid difficult conversations. You are focusing more on being that inspirational leader, focusing more on education, and hoping that your audience will connect the dots on their own, because you believe if you help them to do that, that it is not the right way, that is manipulative, right? You are hoping that your audience will come to the conclusion on their own, but they don't. They will never come to the conclusion on their own. They will never connect the dots on their own. Hoping and praying that they will do that is the number one reason why you are stuck when it comes to getting more people in your coaching offer. That's why so many incredible coaches have audiences that love their content, have audiences that they have been nurturing for months, but they are not actually consistently buying their offer right now. So when I started my coaching business, I thought my job was to make other people feel good, empower them, like inspire them every single day. So I made sure that every single post was inspiring my people, right? Every live video was to motivate my people to do the next step. Every conversation in the DMs was to give more value so that I can encourage them to book a call with me. Until I realized something, right? People were leaving my content, watching it, looking at it, saving it, feeling inspired. And then they were continuing to live the exact same life with the exact same pattern, with the exact same mistakes they are doing. That was the moment I asked myself, am I actually really helping people here? Even with my free content. And helping people is not giving more value, like giving more tips, tricks, how to do something. I feel like that is not, I believe that is not how you are helping people, because that is exactly why you are letting your people stay stuck. Because you're literally giving on a silver plate, hey, do this like this, and you're going to actually live your dream life, which is not the case, right? Because if someone knows that they are struggling, right? If someone really wants a different life, different business, if someone keeps delaying the decision that could change everything in the next 30 days, is it ethical for me to stay quiet about what that delay is costing them? Right? So let's separate these two, because I feel like as a woman of color coach, industry expert, you have been doing those things completely different, right? The fear based marketing says if you don't buy from me, your life will fall apart. You never gonna have your dream. You're gonna never gonna lose 20 pounds, right? That is like the fear based marketing. And I feel like if you are constantly doing that, that is unethical, and that is actually also the way how you are attracting the wrong people into your audience. But also there is an opposite, right, which is the ethical urgency. And ethical urgency is really about having tough conversations with your audience, uncomfortable conversation that actually creates transformation. So you're going to actually talk about what really happens if nothing changes in the next 7 days, in the next 30 days, in the next 6 months. What happened in the last 6 months? And those are not the same conversation, because fear tries to control, right? But ethical urgency creates awareness. Fear removes choices, and you are putting someone into their mind that they're going to fail in their life when they don't work with you. But urgency empowers choices, showcases what is possible, right? Fear based marketing creates panic. It creates like this feeling inside your prospect, oh my God, my life is falling apart. And urgency says that, like, creates that possibility and that empowerment that your audience deserves to see the full picture before they decide. And that is the difference between fear and urgency. That is what you need to actually see the difference between it, and which one are you doing right now. Let's say you are a business coach, okay? The fear-based marketing would sound like, hey, if you don't join my program today, your business will fail. You're going to lose 20K a month. You will never be happy, never live the life of your dreams. In my eyes, that is manipulation. In my eyes, that is creating panic. But ethical urgency, right, sounds like, or you are actually helping your people to see, hey, so if you are currently converting one client a month because your messaging isn't magnetic enough, your messaging is not creating urgency, and nothing changes over the next 6 months, you will probably continue to work the double amount of hours but still see similar or no revenue. Do you see, like, the one is literally like manipulating someone, putting more fear and panic into someone's body? The other one is helping them to become more aware, not only about the problem, not only about what is possible for them, but also what is going to happen if you are not going to change your current situation. That is the reality check in that you need to have with your audience. And a reality check in is sometimes like, um, uncomfortable conversations, tough conversations, where you literally have to risk the relationship, because getting awareness will create either audience who are getting aware or getting defensive. So you are helping someone to understand the cost of inaction, and you are giving them the information they need to make a decision. And a decision can be a yes or a no. Yes, I want to move forward. No, I don't care. I will stay where I am. But your job as a woman of color coach, industry expert, is to literally give them the information they need so that they can make a decision whether it's a yes or no. And I think this is especially important for us women of color coaches and industry expert, because many of us, we were thought over the years that we shouldn't make people uncomfortable, right? Like, don't ask for too much, don't be direct, like, don't take up too much space. So you are now in this energy field of not using your voice, not actually having uncomfortable conversation with other people, right? Because you have been heard all the time, don't tell people what they need to hear if it might upset them. So you hold everything back, even though you know that this conversation might change their whole life in the next 32 years. But think about your clients, right? If they are struggling inside your coaching container, right? If they are overwhelmed, if they are settling for less, okay? If they are undercharging, if they are building a business that are burning them out, right? Will you stay silent? Is actually staying silent actually serving them? Or are you protecting yourself from feeling uncomfortable? Because sometimes what we call being nice as a coach or being nice, is actually avoiding leadership. And no one wants to actually work with someone who's simply a follower. Leadership isn't always being comfortable. Sometimes leadership says that this path you are on is not actually taking you where you want to go. I believe you actually settling for less right now. Do you have sorry, those conversations with your clients? Because in my eyes, that is love, that is honesty, that is coaching, where you are literally calling your clients out when you are seeing what they are doing wrong and what they can improve on. And honestly, that is why your clients are paying you. So when you are never creating urgency in your content, something interesting is going to happen. Okay? Your audience will start to believe, I will deal with this later. I will wait until next year. I will figure it out on my own eventually. I will keep following this free content, saver content, and that's it. So you are leaving your audience with nothing changes, right? Not because they don't trust you. Actually, you have been nurturing your audience for too long, because they don't actually understand what's at stake. Your job is not to scare them, but your job is to wake them up and to empower them, to help them to see, hey, what is this problem costing you today? Like, what will it likely cost you 6 months from now? And what is possible for you when you are solving it and when you trust yourself again? That is ethical marketing, and that is ethical selling. Let me know in the comments if you have a question about ethical selling and using urgency in your content to help your audience to see why they should move with you forward. And I don't believe ethical coaches, right, who are doing this coaching business in the right way, should avoid urgency. I believe coaches should redefine urgency, right? Urgency is not those fake deadlines like buy before midnight. Urgency is also not when you have 10 spots left in behind the scene and you are marketing it like, hey, I only have one spot. That is unethical. That is lying. That is manipulation. Urgency is not actually putting someone the pressure in. It's literally helping someone, like, write this down in the comments. Urgency is helping someone fully understand the weight of their current reality. And helping them to see the possibility of a different future. That is empowerment. So maybe this helps you to redefine urgency, that it is literally empowering your audience to avoid the mistakes, to avoid the cost of inaction, and to see a different future. That is literally urgency. Simple. So if you have been holding yourself back from, like sounding pushy, manipulating, and you don't know how to use urgency in your content, I want you to remember that your audience doesn't need another motivational quote. They don't need a list of tips and tricks like, hey, 10 tips to avoid this, or 10 tips to get the next client as a business coach. They need a leader. They need someone brave enough to lovingly tell them the real truth, the bullshit they have been doing. Okay? They need someone who's actually telling them the truth, what is keeping them stuck. They need a leader telling them what is costing them. Not only money wise, okay, but also like emotionally. What are they losing when it comes to their relationship? And what are they losing when it comes to their peace, freedom? And they want a leader telling them what is becoming possible when they finally decide to change and to get the help, to get the support. That is leadership. Write this down. That is leadership. And I believe the world needs more women of color coaches stepping into their leadership, who are willing to lead with honesty, compassion, and courage. Because the clients you are meant to help don't need you to make them comfortable. What do I say every single time in my live streams? I tell you that you cannot change if you are not challenged. You cannot change if you are not challenged. Be the leader who's challenging your people to get the possibilities, to get the future, because they need you to help them to move. Otherwise, they wouldn't follow your Instagram. Otherwise, they wouldn't save your posts. They wouldn't watch your YouTube. They wouldn't actually follow you as a silent lurker. Let me know if that was helpful, and I see you in the next video. Bye.